Howdy, welcome back to Wobble Enjoy Sports. If you're new around here, hope I can get you to consider to like the content and subscribe to the channel. But if you are a regular around these here parts, thank you very much for the continuous support. The start of the halfway point of 2025 begins tonight for Friday night footy, and to help me commentate on the Dragons versus Knights is, of course, Terry from the Rugby League Outlaws. It's always a pleasure to have you on, man. How's the week been? And looking forward to the game tonight, man.
Mate, it's been a long week. I've got to say this, right? My phone doesn't blow up as much as it does until Queensland lose an Origin game. Like, I've got people that I haven't spoken to since high school that just randomly found my phone number to text me. But other than that, going pretty good, Sam. What about yourself?
Look, went to Suncorp the other night, and I reckon by about the 50-minute mark, I was looking at the exits just quietly, but I didn't want to be goodbye by the New South Wales Blatchy Blues. No, that's a rookie error. In
your own home ground as well. That's yeah.
I was looking around. But stuck until the very end. But the Sunshine State had some sunshine today because the Queensland females won game number 3 down there in the Hunter Valley last night in an epic contest. Did you end up watching the game, mate?
I did, yeah. I caught a little bit of it. I was at the gym last night. I saw Jess Surges. I turned it on just as Jess Surges scored, and I know I was a little bit late to the party, and the gym turned it on just as Jess Surges scored, and I went nuts because I had Surges' first try scorer, only to realise that the Queenslander had already scored before that. So yeah. But other than that, look, pretty good contest. I think. You can look at it two ways. Queensland really, really wanted that, and the New South Wales girls looked like that they'd been on the piss on the beach for about 3 weeks. So
that's exactly right, hey. No shit, that's exactly right, hey. There's nothing else to add there. Now let's focus on to the first game of round number 13. I haven't even looked at the confirmed team list yet.
Round there was 13.
I know
already.
Man. Yeah, mate, I know. Hey. Now, just quickly, there was a comment that was left on Twitter. And it was something that went along the lines of might have some stiff drinks tonight. So just quickly, Terry, I'm just going to put myself on mute. But look. All right, so I just went halfway through some Bundy rum and Coke just then, mate. So, because I agree, but
if I knew we were having a party, I'll go and get myself an old bevo. Just give me 2 seconds, Sam. I'll be right back.
Yeah, go for it, man. No. Yeah, I will. But yes, it is the Dragons versus the Newcastle Knights. And on paper and based on form, it is one that you are raising your eyebrows at a little bit. But it's one of those nights and games that you could look at and say, yeah, maybe not. But it ends up winding up being a bit of a cracker. And speaking of cracking, I see that Terry's cracked open himself a can. So cheers, Terry.
I got myself a nice little Brookvale Union ginger beer, courtesy of my wedding day.
Oh, very bloody nice. Yes, sir. Now you said bring up the team list, and I was busy wobbling my jaw. So 3, 2, 1. We'll go through if you don't mind, please, Terry, go through the team list now for the Dragons, mate.
The fullback and captain is Clint Gutherson. On the wings, Tyrell Sloan, and we have a debutant in Nathan Lawson. Fingers crossed he gets himself over for a meat pie tonight. In the centres, Moses Suley and Valentine Holmes is backing up from Origin. Didn't do too much. Licky and King Togia and Kyle Flanagan are in the halves. Clemmer Cook and Blake Laurie in the front row. Sewer, Toby Couchman and Hamish Stewart in the back row. And on the bench, Jack DeBellin, Luciano Leilua, Jacob Little, Loco Pacifica Tonga. Hamasele is the 18th man, and they are coached by Shane Flanagan. So Kalen Ponga not backing up, but I'll leave that over to you.
All right then. Yeah, okay. So Nathan Lawson, rugby sevens or rugby nines, and he's making his first grade debut tonight. Yep, I haven't seen anything of him, so that excites me. And Toby Couchman returns from injury as well and starts in the second row and not the prop position, as he's done pretty well for the Dragons in that spot. But just quickly, we'll go through the Knights team list now. So Sharp is at fullback, Schiller and Hunt are at the back, the rest of the back three. Dane Gagai and McCarthy, the centres. Cogger and Gamble. Cogger coming in as 18th man, playing in 5'8". Gamble with the reins at halfback slot. Frizzell, Crossland and Thompson. Lucas, Kai Pearce-Paul and Matt Croker. Brayley, Hetherington, Brodie Jones and Thomas Cant. Jermaine McEwen in there as 18th player as well. Adam O'Brien is the coach. The odds for this game, the Dragons are $1.37 favourites. The Newcastle Knights are $3.10. The Dragons are inconsistent, but they have proven to be a cog, maybe a level more consistent than the Newcastle Knights this season, Terry.
Yeah, look, I said it a couple of weeks ago when I was talking with Dan that the Knights beat the Yamina Bunnies, and I thought they were going to beat the Gold Coast Titans and forks their way up the competition ladder and have more points than they deserved. Now, they had a good win last week against the Panthers, but I'm not seeing anything from this Newcastle Knights team that excites me. I am a massive fan of Kalen Ponga. We have called a game together where I was just gushing over Kalen Ponga, but his magic is worn off. Teams now know that if you shut Ponga down, you shut Newcastle down. They can't score points. They leak like a sieve. I'm tipping St George to win tonight because they've just got that little bit more, and they're at home in front of, 16,000, 17,000 fans on a Friday night at Cogra. I think that'll be enough to get the Dragons over the line as Clint Gutherson leads them out right now.
Yep, to the 20 actually, 20 odd people that in the chat right now. G'day. Thank you so much for dropping by and saying g'day. Please subscribe to the Rugby League Outlaws by following the link in the name of the stream title and also subscribe to Wobble and Jaw Sports as well. Thank you very much, everybody. The Dragons have just come out, and there we have. Represented Australia in 2020 and 2024 Rugby Sevens and in the Olympics, Mr. Nathan Lawson on debut. And Terry, it looks like that the Newcastle Knights are going to kick off. Dragons are going to receive, so I'll leave it over to you, bro.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how this kid goes, especially in open space. There's not much of him. Now, I say kid, tongue in jest. He's in his mid-20s, but I think he'll be all right as the Knights kick off. And, it's a bit of a wobbly. It's a wobbling kick-off. And first tackle is Blake Laurie. He runs in, makes it to the 10-metre line. Damien Cook in at dummy half, and he goes open side now, and that is Moses Sully with a run in the middle. Good post-contact meters there from Moses Sully. Damien Cook again in at acting half. But they're spreading early here. Valentine Holmes with some early ball. He gets across the 30-metre line for the Dragons. Clint Gutherson barking orders at everybody here, and that's Toby Couchman, who has gone in for... Is it Couchman or is it Stewart? My glasses are deceiving me here. No, it was Couchman. On to Clemmer for the final set. A good opening set here from the St George Illawarra Dragons. And they'll go to Kyle Flanagan, who puts an up and under downfield.
Fletcher Sharp took it 11 metres on his own line, and he actually ran about 12 before the Dragons' defence connected with him. Now, Gamble at dummy half, passes right infield there for the young man. That was Mr. Hunt, I believe that
Schiller
was, and he'll play Schiller, thank you. And here's Kai Pearce-Paul now with a hit up. This is tackle number 3. They're still inside their own 40. Play the ball, Crossland, passes left in field. Frizzell left for Gamble, and then left to Dylan Lucas, who makes good post-contact meters to get to halfway. He is coming off man of the match performances as Gamble is allowed to run there on the left-hand edge and enters Dragons territory. He'll play the ball about 11 metres inside Dragons territory as Cogger puts the ball sky high.
There should be an easy take for Gutherson here, but he's pinned in the corner, tries to come infield, and he's absolutely smashed there by Leo Thompson. So the Knights, after a good opening set from the Dragons, the Knights have countered here. As that's Nathan Lawson gets his first hit up. So good on the young man. As Sloan's now coming for some work as well. The Dragons about 23 metres out from their own line here on tackle 3. As Cook's in at dummy half to Blake Laurie, who goes open side to King Togia, and he turns Toby Couchman on the inside, and there's a penalty for a high shot. An advantage here for the St George Illawarra Dragons. Early penalty for a high shot. Looks like Kai Pearce-Paul was the offender. Didn't look like to be too much in the tackle scene, but didn't get a reaction from you and I. And that is... Oh, it's Frizzell. Woof.
Okay, I was going to say, hey.
I saw those first two, and I was like, that's a penalty? Decent shot from Frizzell, though, you know. And you know what I love about this? 3 weeks ago, that would have been a sin bin, and that's tragic because that's not a sin bin worthy tackle. So the Dragons here, though, tap in by Valentine Holmes. They're going to get the first chance to go on the attack here. They should be able to put up an attacking kick or at least a grubber kick into the in-goal area as Damien Cook goes open side here. Now it's turned inside to Blake Laurie, who get involved early. Blake Laurie, Dragons fans have criticised him for his work rate as we now go open side. Hamish Stewart and Gutherson to Valentine Holmes. Holmes was nearly through a gap there. Gets up, passes it, wasn't tackled, passes it here to Gutherson. Gutherson goes across field, and he'll be met and he'll be tackled 20 metres out from the line. He's driven back, Gutherson. He's driven back there by Thompson and Croker. Met in a strong tackle. He was going across field, so he's easy prey there. As that's Hamish Stewart with a nice charge. And Cook goes back to the left. Here they go. Valentine Holmes through, and he throws that a mile forward. Second touch of the game for Nathan Lawson after he catches a great pass there from Valentine Brady on the fourth tackle.
Oh, well, he's showing that he's played NFL before, Valentine Holmes, with that freaking pass. But the Knights, they had them contained. They had him contained, but just went forward. And Lawson nearly scored on debut. Holy smokes. Just quickly, Terry, we've got 50 people in the chat. Thank you so much for dropping by and saying good day. We've also got people from Papua New Guinea who are coming in to watch us. Milton Mayo, wow. Thank you very much. So please subscribe to Rugby League Outlaws and Wobble and Joy Sports, guys. Thank you very much for your support as the Newcastle Knights win the scrum from their own 10-metre line, and it's shifted out to the left-hand side. And I believe that's McCarthy who plays the ball. This here is Fletcher. Sharp! Oh, no, it's not. It's Mr. Hunt. Mr. Hunt. We've got some flowing locks that look very similar here. And this here is another one. Phoenix Crossland. It's the freaking Newcastle freaking mullets running around here at Cogra tonight. And now a penalty has been blown. Oh, that's a get-out-of-jail card there. First 5 minutes have gone, and it's not a bad game so far, just some ill-disciplined moments.
Yeah, it's been a good feel-out start here. Jaden Sue was disappointed with himself, laying in the ruck, didn't attempt to make a move there. Tyson Gamble milked that. But look, the Dragons opened up strong. The Knights counterpunched. We've had a couple of penalties either way here, and the Knights are on the attack now, Sam.
McCarthy enters Dragons territory and plays the ball up towards the top of the screen. The Knights are running left to right of screen, and it's Tyson Frizzell now who's able to get to the Dragons' 40-metre line on second tackle. Crossland, dummy half, decides to go left. Gamble runs before passing left to his mate Cogger. Left to Sharp at fullback. He's dummying and scheming, and he's able to get to within about 2 meters of the 20-meter line there, still up towards the top. He was very, very bloody good last week in Bathurst. As Matt Croker, a decent player himself, goes over the 20-meter line, and there's about 15 meters to go before they get to the try line. Crossland right to Gamble, out the back to Cogger to the right, very flat pass to Kai Pearce-Paul. And he's stopped just in front of the line here, but it's last tackle right of the sticks. Crossland goes left, back infield. Cogger puts in a grubber kick, and it's a great catch by Jaden Sewer.
Very, very nice there from Jaden Sewer. The Dragons look like they were always in control in that defensive set there, but it's here we go. We got a penalty for inside the 10 here. So Newcastle, they had the Dragons pinned and ill-disciplined. This is things that have been so consistent for the Knights this year. Has been the way that they let teams off the hook. Jaden Sewer's down getting some treatment now. That's no good for anybody involved this early in the game. He stretched himself there. But yeah, look, Newcastle, they had him pinned down. All you got to do is get back 10 metres. You can't be this fatigued 6 minutes into the game. As Moses Sully will take the tap and he'll run towards the halfway line. They're talking about a crusher tackle here. Damien Cook's not happy with that tackle. Touch judge tells him to get on with it. As it's turned inside here. That looks like David Clemmer. Joe, he's trimmed up a lot. Clem. He's over the halfway line. Blake Laurie now. Dummies to Stewart. Gets tackled. About 35 metres out from the line. So the Dragons back on the attack here. Didn't get to put in an attacking kick in the last set. As King Togia nearly went straight through then. Here we go. Hey, who's that? Damien Cook's in at dummy half. Open side Stewart. Flanagan throws it out. Sloan with the grubber kick in the in-goal area, and it's cleaned up there by Newcastle. And we got our first dropout of the game, Sam. What do you make of that set there from the Dragons?
It was a good step, but I still think the Knights still had things covered, but just a bit of a slip there from Fletcher Sharp at the back. Got a comment here from Scott Pride, Terry. Terry, subjecting himself to a Dragons game on camera. He's now seen it all. Holy smokes.
Scotty loves me, mate. Scott Pride absolutely loves me. So he'll be in here sledging me all night. Don't worry about that, Scott. I will say some nice things about your Dragons somewhere along the line. As that's been batted back by Newcastle, and Jaden Sewer now has the ball 9 metres out from the line. So the Dragons are on the attack here. Damien Cook goes open side to Flanagan, who goes to Clemmer just for the standard hit up as they can try and get the Knights compressed here and attack to the left. Flanagan goes open side. King Toya Gutherson goes back on the inside. There was a bit of a gap there for Gutherson, but it was closed quickly by Croker and Crossland. And the inside to Blake Laurie, who steams onto that ball. He's been busy in the opening sets here as Blake Laurie, as the Dragons go the open side here. Kyle Flanagan to Gutherson, nothing doing there. The Newcastle Knights haven't had to stretch themselves at all. This is very predictable here from the Dragons, as the fifth tackle now, and Kyle Flanagan puts up a kick, and it goes backwards. And Loco King Tongia puts a kick in here, and he's taken on the fifth as he knocks the ball on. That was a good set from the Dragons, and then absolutely nothing. Shane Flanagan blowing up there for those fifth tackle options, and that kick from Kyle was an absolute shocker, Sam. Bludger.
Yeah, it sure was, man. It still feels like they're still filling out the Newcastle Knights a little bit, but Knights still well and truly up in it. So this is Dylan Lucas now taking it to the 20-meter line. Still, there's 52 people in the chat. G'day, everybody. Thank you very much. And this now here is a hit up here for Kyle McCarthy. That's now, I think, his maybe third hit up of the game. Here is Dane Gagai, and I think that's his first touch of the game, 10 minutes in to the contest. And now a penalty. Well, the first team to eliminate penalties in their game is probably going to go on and win this game, Terry. Gee whiz.
Yeah, ill discipline early on from both sides here. I think Green Atkins is trying to stamp that out, but it's some offsides and some slow in the play of the ball. But two penalties apiece here is now the Knights will get the chance to retaliate to the punches the Dragons just threw.
Yep, rugby league history. Newcastle have won only twice in the last few weeks, and both have been against depleted teams. Terry made mention of that before, and so yeah, Newcastle Knights definitely want to get a decent scalp that's not half strength or only quarter strength. As Frizzell plays it on the Dragons 40-meter line, Thompson left, Gamble left, Sharp left to McCarthy. McCarthy has a hit up and gets to the Dragons 20-meter line. Okay, that was about a 20-meter play there all in all for the Newcastle Knights. As Gamble receives it, right to Croker, right to Crossland, and Crossland puts Kai Pearce-Paul back under, who offloads back to Crossland, left out to Croker, and then Croker just centralises Newcastle, calms things down. He's going to play the ball 25 metres out. Crossland decides to go right, and Tyson Frizzell bobbled it, nearly knocked it on, but play on. He will play the ball 20 metres out, way out left to Gamble. He dummies and takes the tackle himself on last tackle there. Not sure about that, but Crossland now at dummy half, goes right, finds Jack Cocker. He puts in a crossfield kick. Pearce-Paul is chasing. It is batted back by Pearce-Paul, but it's taken there by the Dragons.
Yeah, look, strange play there from Tyson Gamble because he didn't have to get tackled on the fifth there. Oh, and Valentine Holmes has put the Dragons back under pressure, Sam.
Well, Matt Croker picking up on the loose bouncing ball. He will play it, and now the ball is in the hands of Dane Gagai, who's arcing his run, and he bounces away from a Dragons defender, and he's going to be stopped about 4 metres shy of the try line, right of the sticks here. Running left to right are the Knights. Crossland at dummy half passes way left for Frizzell, left for Gamble, left here for Dylan Lucas, but he's met there and stopped by Sully. Crossland, flat pass there for Thompson. Can he barge his way, fight his way over? No, that's good contact there, but I think Mr. Stewart there, and it's Crossland on third tackle right to Gamble, runs before passing to Cocker. Cocker, knocked on there by Fletcher Sharp, unfortunately. I'll tell you what, man, the Dragons have had more territory and a little bit more possession, but I think just at the moment, like Newcastle, like, I don't know, I'd give them the momentum at the moment, like 51-49 sort of thing.
Yeah, I'd give them the early advantage here, definitely, because they seem to be at least creating a little bit of space, whereas the Dragons are getting down and attacking territory, and it looks like Newcastle could camp their chair there for 60 tackles and they're not going to get broken. But both teams ill-disciplined hitting each other with some early errors there. We can see the Dragons are completing at 57%, and that's not going to win any game in the NRL, no matter who you're playing, how bad the Knights are. But Moses Sully takes the first tackle here. Cook gets in at dummy half. Tyrell Sloan comes in for another run. Smart play there to run back into young McCarthy rather than running into Tyson Frizzell, but Frizzell got him anyway. And Hamish Stewart ducks the Leo Thompson tackle. Cook's in here at dummy half. He's barking at everybody. Clemmer goes in for a run now. Clem playing against one of his old teams here. I don't think he has too much history with them, though, as opposed to when he plays the Tigers. And Clint Gutherson now takes the run up over the halfway line. And the minute he's touched, he's asking the referee for a penalty. But we'll go open side here to Kyle Flanagan. That's a better kick from Flano.
Sure is, man. And it's Hunt that takes it inside his own 20, and he runs back infield and is met rather solidly there.
Sharp.
Sharp, sorry.
It's twice
number
now.
5. No, it's Hunt. It's Hunt, number 5. I'm on it. I'm on it.
All right. There's so many mullets.
Oh, Terry, look. I know. That's what I'm saying. It's the Newcastle Mullets playing tonight at Cogra. Holy crap. And plus, we're having some alcohol, so we might be cross-eyed in a couple of minutes. Fletcher Sharp now has to hit up.
They're sharp.
Yes, that's all very sharp, Terry. He gets just a shy of halfway, crossland, cut out pass to the left-hand side for Gamble, and kick for territory, man. Strange kick because he wasn't inside his own 40, and that was on the 4th tackle, mate.
Yeah, they've pinned the Dragons down here now. They're on the sideline exactly where you want them. It's not a bad tactic there from Tyson Gamble. At least it was on the 4th and not the 2nd, but here they go now, working their way out of their own end, and that's Nathan Lawson who's coming in. He's way in off his wing there. Tyrell Sloan comes in for a run here as Damien Cook's in a dummy half now, and he goes open side. And King Todd, they've got some space here, but Gutherson could not get that ball. If he gets that ball to Valentine Holmes, there was some space down the sideline there, but that's great defense from the Newcastle Knights. As now Toby Couchman will take the ball to the 40-metre line here, and that's 5th tackle, and they go open side to Kyle Flanagan. He'll look to kick him out of trouble, Sam.
All right, I'm telling you, this one is Fletcher Sharp, the flying mullet. This one is sharp.
There's so many mullets on the dance floor.
Oh, mate, I could do with some hair. As Sharp gets up and plays the ball on the 30, this here is Fletcher Hunt, and he's only able to make about 3 meters.
And his name's Fletcher as well. We've got a Fletcher Sharp and a Fletcher Hunt.
Please, Terry. I'm sorry. I think this is Carl McCarthy. Stopped just shy of the 40-metre line. Matt Croker goes out the back to the right. Cogger then puts Kai Pearce-Paul back under. Always called for an obstruction.
It's going to be interesting to see Kai Pearce-Paul in some open space then. I read that, he's very, very close to announcing an immediate switch to the West Tigers. He's played nearly 50 NRL games at the moment. Yeah, that's a textbook obstruction right there. Played nearly 50 games, still hasn't scored a try. So, that'll add to the West Tigers' attacking talents when they can't get over the line either. But here we go. The Dragons are on the attack. William Joseph has said nothing interesting. Yep, what did you expect from this game? As now Toby Couchman goes across the field. He's taking 22 metres out from the line here. Damien Cook's in at dummy half, and he goes to King Togia, who turns Blake Laurie inside. Laurie's inside the 20 now. The Dragons, a little bit of momentum. They're wrestling it back, maybe 51-49 to the Dragons now. As Hamish Stewart goes to the open side. Everyone gets in the way of liking King Togia, so he just takes the tackle on the 3rd here. Damien Cook goes back to the open side here as Clemmer goes for a run, hits and spins. And here we go. Flanagan turns Sewer inside. And we're on the last here. So an attacking kick. Let's see if Flanagan can put it forward this time. They're running it. They're electing to run it here. Gutherson, and he'll be tackled. And that's a change over there. And once again, the Dragons didn't offer anything, and the Knights weren't troubled.
No, not Terry. Not at all. As 70 people are now in the chat, Terry, please, everybody, please like and subscribe to Rugby League Outlaws and Wobble and Jaw Sports. Thank you very much. But they need to try something different because it is purely going left to right, sideways, and there's nobody cutting against the grain like an edge forward to offer something different as Fletcher Hunt runs straight and hard. This is 3rd tackle now. Frizzell gets over the 30-metre line. They're still inside their own territory, and he's just shy of the 40-metre line. Fourth tackle, they go left. This is Matt Croker dummying and able to run about 5 metres, make that 10 now, and gets over halfway.
Good contact meters.
Phoenix Crossland goes left, finds Tyson Gamble, not having a bad game at all, and that's not a bad kick. It's going to come down pretty much on the 10-metre line for Gutho.
And maybe not the deepest kick that time, but there's a very, very simple game plan here from the Knights, and that's to get Gutherson as close to the sideline as he possibly can. As we're on the second tackle now, Tyrell Sloan goes in the dummy half, opens it for Moses Sawley, who runs into the middle. So, yeah, the feel-out period here, hopefully some teams start throwing more than a jab at the moment, as now Clemmer goes in, fourth tackle at the 40-metre line. It's a good run from Clem. Damien Cook, open side here. Flanagan turns Sewer back on the inside, and that's fifth tackle. And once again, they'll be putting a kick downfield for one of the Fletchers with a bad haircut. Which one's it going to be, Sam? Who's catching it?
All righty, so that there is Mr. Sharp who's taking it, and he makes about 10 metres and is stopped there on the 20-metre line here. I'd say Newcastle are playing the better footy at the moment as Hunt, oh gee whiz, he made about half a metre before he was crunched there. Gamble at dummy half, passes left, and this is Kyle McCarthy, makes about 6 or so metres here. Third tackle, Gamble at dummy half again, goes right. This here is Leo Thompson up over the 30 and makes a few post-contact meters, still 15 short of halfway. And 20 minutes is gone as Phoenix Crossland darts to the left-hand side. Effective carry, that one. And it's Sharp at dummy half. He goes right, finds Cogger right on halfway. And he's allowed to kick it downfield.
And I think Dan has joined the chat because he's asked how good is Mike Ross in suits. The answer is not very good, as Nathan Lawson here is taken, and a penalty there for a high shot from Matt Croker. So, background on that, that's definitely Dan. For years, Dan and I have been friends. It feels like an eternity, and it's way too long. But he's been telling me to watch Suits. My youngest daughter had a state dancing competition last weekend, which she won. 1 out of 84 kids, she won it. But I started watching Suits, and I am absolutely hooked on this show. But Mike Ross is the main character, and I can't stand him, Sam. Speaking of I can't stand a game with no tries. Valentine Holmes gets over the halfway line here for the Dragons. Let's see something here, Sam. We demand something. As King Tongia throws it inside here to Blake Laurie. And Laurie, he's getting involved early. Some of his runs haven't been too effective, but he is getting involved. Kyle Flanagan open here to Sewer, and Sewer has a little bit of space before he's pulled down here about 34 meters. 34 meters out from the line. As Flanagan turns in Hamish Stewart, they're not doing anything to cause the Newcastle Knights defence any problems whatsoever. As King Tongia goes open to Gutherson, who turns Valentine Holmes back inside field, and Holmes is just running across field before he's tackled here. And Flanagan to Sewer, and I had Sewer first try scorer. You beauty! Absolutely beautiful play there from Kyle Flanagan. In the middle, he gets some attacking footy. Jaden Sewer scores for the Dragons, and this game has now opened, Sam. I said St George had wrestled the momentum back, but they weren't doing anything with it. And here we are, across the line here for the St George Illawarra Dragons. That's a beautiful double pump there from Kyle Flanagan. Halfbacks going on the line doing that will always cause trouble for the defence. Looked like he was going to dummy and run. He puts his edge back row over the line. And Sewer now, this is his chance to impress to get back in that Queensland, getting that Queensland squad, Sam.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. Off the back of a Valentine Holmes run where he ran from left into the centre, and when the play the ball eventually came, there were 3 markers, so that stripped them by 1 or 2 numbers out there on the left edge defensively for Newcastle Knights. And yeah, exactly as I said, Damien Cook spurted out to the right-hand side, and Jaden Sewer is the recipient. He still looks like he's a little bit ginger in the legs after picking up maybe a bit of a cork earlier on, but yeah, it was a 4-on-3 situation there, and McCarthy and Gamble just lack of communication there, unfortunately. Maybe even throw Matt Croker into that conversation as well. But 4 points to 0, and Terry has made himself some money already on Friday night footy, mate. Fantastic stuff.
A little bit of cash money coming in there, but liking King Tongia sounds like some kind of Malaysian dish from rugby league history. I don't care. This kid can play footy. Let the shackles off him, Flano. Let the shackles off him. Is Valentine Holmes now.
Oh,
nails it. Absolutely nailed that kick. Yeah, Suarez leaving the field.
Oh, bugger. Daniel says this got to be up there with some of the most boring shit possible. Well, not our fault, is it? Hey, King Togia, it sounds like some kind of Malaysian dish. Wow, man, delicious. Just before the away fans from Newcastle were singing this place is a library. Holy smokes. And Kaching Deza Dallas GT says,
so that's
yes,
my
Terry.
good mate. That's my good mate, Tony Dallas, in the chat there. And congratulations, Tony. He started a new job at the Salvation Army. He updated his LinkedIn. I commented on it, but let's get I love it when people get new jobs. Makes me really happy. Is now the Dragons. This isn't going to make me happy the rest of this game, but here we go. The Dragons over the 10-meter line on the first tackle. They've gone back to Blake Laurie, and now Moses Sully takes a hit up on the second tackle here for the Dragons. Damien Cook in at dummy half, and he goes open here, and Hamish Stewart takes a nice run into the middle here. The Dragons now a little bit of momentum as Clemmer stalling run, possibly the worst first grade game was Western the Gold Coast, where it finished 8-6. That is correct. The Gold Coast scored in the last minute of the game through AJ Brimson to win that. That was a shocker. There was only one try in that game. 3 penalty goals from West as Kyle Flanagan now kicks the ball downfield, and one of the backs without a mullet catches it.
Easily identifiable as Schiller slips into the defense. Adam O'Brien might be starting a new job soon as Fletcher Sharp scoots to the right-hand side and makes about 20, maybe 18 meters on that play. So Terry will be very happy for Adam O'Brien in 2026 as Fletcher Hunt now is rocked by Kyle Flanagan and taken back here. He will play the ball on the 40-meter line, 10 short of halfway. Crossland finds Tyson Frizzell, and he wants the offload here, and he can't do it. He's able to get to halfway, though. Fourth tackle, Crossland goes right. This here is Sharp once more, and he's able to make 10 meters or so. Then they're getting out of trouble here, Newcastle, but that penalty just a couple of minutes ago is what let the Dragons off the hook and were able to score the first try, Terry.
They were, and now I've had a glitch in my system here, Sam, so I'm going to have to hand the reins back over to you until my phone comes back on.
No, that's all right. Okay, then. So we've got to play the ball here from the Dragons on their own 20. Valentine Holmes makes a good 10-meter carry. It's second tackle. Dragons are running right to left. Gutherson scoots to the left-hand side and makes about 12 to 15 meters on that play as Gutherson plays the ball.
And Damien Cook follows up with a nice scoot of his own, and he gets over the halfway line, dragged down here by Phoenix Crossland. The Dragons are up in arms. No 6 again there. Yes, there was. There was a 6 again inside 10 metres. And now DeBellin spots a gap, and he puts Gutherson in. Gutherson gets there. Puts his king sign up. All off the back of a Clint Gutherson run, a Damien Cook run, a great charge by Jack DeBellin, and as all good fullbacks do, like the king, backing up on the inside from his forward who made a break. But here we go. Here's the Damien Cook run. He gets in over the halfway line. This was a really, really, not a word about beach sprinting. He gets a quick play of the ball here to DeBellin. Knights players were called out, and I've got to talk about something there, Sam. If you can see that your defensive line is broken and you're called out of the play like Phoenix Crossland was there, jump on him. Just, what's the worst that's going to happen? You're going to give a 6 again away. Now you've given 6 points away.
Yep.
In the game where Grant Atkins will not blow a penalty there to make it 8-0, he's just going to give more tackles against your team. Tackle the bloke if you're offside.
Mm-hmm.
Just go and tackle him, because now you've given away 6 points. Great try, great set there from the Dragons.
And in that instance as well, he wouldn't have been sent to the sin bin as well. No? It just would have been another 6 again.
Just give the 6. Just, I mean, you see it every week. Cahill says, "What's the score?" It is 10-0 to the Dragons with a kick to come. You have to, you have to have a look in a situation like that in the game where they've changed the rules. There's not going to be a penalty. You're not going to go down 8 points to 0. Now you're going down 12 points to 0 because you elected not to make a tackle that you could have just made and given away six tackles. You're not going on the bin for that. Valentine Holmes here. Kicking better than Nathan Cleary.
Oh, 12-0. 12-0 after 26 minutes. Yeah, look, it's not the worst game of footy that we've ever seen, man. It's disappointing because the Knights, they're playing not too bad footy at the moment, but this 12-0 scoreline is, I don't know. It's not a true reflection of the game.
It's not the worst game of footy we're seeing, but the standard of these two teams is so subpar that, the first 20 minutes was atrocious, and now we're getting excited for 6 minutes of attacking footy. Look, we said who was going to throw the first punch. It was it was St George, sorry, and they've gone bang bang. It's going to be interesting to see how the Knights respond as Jack DeBellin, the man who made the break to put Gutherson up, he takes it over the 20-metre line. That's a strong run. DeBellin coming off the bench, and now Moses Sully follows up with another great run, and the Dragons are over the 30-metre line here already as Lucky King Tongia hands the ball to Luciano Leilua. There's been a reshuffle here for the Dragons as Big Luch is on. Toby Couchman's gone to the right with Sewell leaving the field. And now Clemmer, he gets in on the action, throws a dummy, and he's going to get himself up to the halfway line here, pulled down, and this is fourth tackle here from the Dragons. There's a bit of renewed energy here from the Dragons as the Bellin goes open side, and it's fifth tackle here now with Damien Cook in at dummy half, and he goes to Cole Flanagan, who thinks about running, but in the end puts in an attacking kick, and there's no contest.
Oh, well done, Hunt, leaping up and getting tackled on the 20-metre line. Rugby League history says Adam O'Brien has the personality of a wet dishcloth. Oh, that's very unkind, Rugby League history. My goodness gracious me. KPP, disgusting passenger. Remember that for the Outlaws, says Zara. And yeah, Steve Bowden, Gutho Probs, best purchase of the season. I don't know about that. And Snag says, why don't we show the true score? 12 points to nil. With 12 minutes to go in this first half as Gamble goes left, finds Sharp. And again, they've entered Dragons territory here, but very quickly, it's last tackle and Gamble is kicking from 40 metres out.
He is, and that is a nice safe take there from Clint Gutherson on about the 15-metre line. He stopped in his tracks. Newcastle have gone to their bench. Young Thomas Kent's on, and he makes that tackle. As that goes open side to Nathan Lawson. Look, if anything, he's busy. I'll say that. If anything, he's busy. As Valentine Holmes comes in for a strong run here. It's more work than he's done in the opening 30 minutes than he did for Queensland on Wednesday night, that's for sure, as Clemmer now has a nice run. David Clemmer leading the VB hard-earned index, and absolutely he is. Blake Laurie's name on there as well. I feel like I've been calling that every set as Guthin goes open side to Sully, and Sully bullies a couple of people out wide, gets himself up over the 50-metre line on tackle 5 here as Cole Flanagan nice there from Fletcher Hunt, but that's going to give the St George Illawarra Dragons more attacking possession. And Sam, momentum has swung 80-20 St George now.
1,000%, man. And look, the young bugger will learn from that, but there's no way that I'd be coaching or allowing him to do something like that, man. Just let them kick the ball and get possession back. I mean, if it comes off, you're a freaking genius, but that's such a high-risk play that did not pay off, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with Rugby League history. It says Newcastle should be the favourites for the wooden spoon. I think they've got a very, very fake position on the ladder and will find themselves in the bottom four fighting off that wooden spoon, and wouldn't surprise me if they got it. As Valentine Holmes takes the first run, and we're now going open side here. DeBellin is running that ball with venom tonight. He's up to the 30-metre line. That's been impressive impact from Jack DeBellin straight off the bench, as now Gutherson turns Moses Sully inside, and there was some space there for Sully. Gets over to the 20-metre line. Damien Cook here, they're 20 out. Hamish Stewart, dummies, and was absolutely smoked in that shot there by Brodie Jones as King Togia to Luch. That's a shocker of a ball there, and that's a knock on. Is that a knock on? That was a knock on and an offside all in one, and Grant Atkins just put his... I swear to God, if the Dragons score here, that's the biggest injustice. But it's nicely taken there.
This young Fletcher Hunt, mate, we've only seen him play 3 first-grade games, but he is a very nice sleeper of the ball. As Kyle McCarthy has a brave hit up now and gets to the 20-metre line. So well done to Mr. Hunt there as Gamble at dummy half passes right infield here for, I think that might be Brodie Jones there in jersey 16. It is. He plays the ball. Crossland goes even further right. And this here is Jack Hetherington now, who's also on the paddock now. So Coach Adam O'Brien making some much-needed changes here as Jack Cogger is allowed to run about, close to about 15 metres there. Gets to halfway, but it's last tackle, and Gamble kicks pretty much on his side of halfway.
Yeah, and it's down to Clint Gutherson, who takes it over the 20, and he's been solid tonight, Gutho, the king. He's been under pressure, and He's done everything that's been asked of him. As now it goes open side here to Nathan Lawson, who comes in for some work, and that's a good run. That's probably his best run of the night there. Nathan Lawson gets up near the 40-metre line. The Dragons are making metres with ease here, and Newcastle need to do something about this and do something about it very quickly. It's Toby Couchman comes in for a run. Third tackle, Sam, there at the 50-metre line as Damien Cook in at dummy half. Throws it open side to King Togia, who throws it back to Valentine Holmes. We saw this in the set leading up to the last tries. Valentine Holmes gets an offload here to Damien Cook, who goes to Kyle Flanagan, who goes out to Moses Suley. And Suley will be up near the 30-metre line. The 30 metres out from their own line here, the Dragons on the third tackle, and all the momentum's in their favour. Another try here, and you could almost call it lights out for the Knights. There's another half to go. They throw the ball inside there, and Kyle Flanagan comes. Togia. Oh, that's a shocking pass there from the King, and it's dived on by Kai Pierce-Paul.
Oh, well done, Kai Pierce-Paul. Again, they're just going a little bit too sideways, but why not? Why wouldn't you be confident at this point in time? Gagai, they need to do something different here in Newcastle to try and get back into within 20 metres of that try line, but they're about 16 metres away as Sharp scoots to the left and then, to the right, and then aims back left, and Sharp is stopped there. It's third tackle. There's 7.5 minutes remaining, and this here is just a straightforward knock on from Thomas Cant.
Oh, and again, the pressure valve is released off the Dragons, and they will come in here for a scrum 50 metres out. Now, I really like Thomas Cant, but that is just a great shot there. I tell you what, Jack de Belin off the bench has changed this game for the Dragons. He's come on, he's made that impactful run that set up the try for Gutherson, and now he's put on all his runs have been with venom and anger tonight. I don't know why he woke up and chose violence against Newcastle. And then that tackle there on Thomas Cant forces a turnover. And the Dragons, they'll be back on the attack here in this set as it goes to big Loco Pacifica Tonga. What a beast this young kid is. And I say kid, he's like 6'9". Look at the size of him. As de Belin, again, another good run. Strong carry up to the 20-metre line. Second tackle here from the Dragons. Damien Cook in at dummy half. Goes open side to Kyle Flanagan. They go back to Pacifica Tonga. Why wouldn't you? He's huge. He's about 13 metres out from the Dragons line here. And they've got 2 tackles left, the Dragons, as Cook overruns his play here. There was a Dragons player taken out on suspicion, but it was David Clemmer, so we won't give a penalty for that. As Luciano Leilua is taken 10 metres out from the line. And Cook goes open side to de Belin, to Flanagan. Turns Moses Suley in on the inside here. And that's 5th tackle here from the Dragons. What have they got? Trick shot up their sleeve as de Belin goes to King Togi, who puts a grubber kick in here, and that's going to be handled nicely by Newcastle, but they'll be trapped in the in-goal area. Second dropout of the night forced by the Dragons. Now, they didn't score, but they got the next best result here for themselves, Sam.
Yeah, they sure did, mate. And look, there's a question that I'll pose to you, and if Kalen Ponga plays right now, is there really that much difference in the scoreboard, do you think, mate?
No, I don't think there's any difference because Newcastle have stopped going forward, which they're not laying a platform, and some mistakes are coming into the game now. They'll take a short drop out here, and it goes back to Carlton. So there's going to be a play the ball here.
Oh dear!
Look at this. I love it when a dropout goes backwards. He's kicked that into the next suburb. Look at that. Those people sitting there in a different postcode to the guys up the other end of the field. Goes open side here for the Dragons as Jack de Belin now. Strong from Jack de Belin. That's all I can say. As now Pacifica Tonga, and we got a 6 again inside the 10 here. So the Dragons get a fresh set, and it goes open side. Kyle Flanagan throws it short to Suley. Suley tries to get himself to the try line here as Cook goes in at dummy half. Throws it open side to Flanagan. Flanagan goes to de Belin. De Belin overruns his runner, so just puts his head down and goes. He's been strong, Jack de Belin. It's so impactful coming off this bench. It's turned inside here. Oh, try-saving tackle there from Newcastle as Luciano Leilua and a trick shot, but we have a penalty. We have a penalty here for crowding in the play the ball. I don't think Valentine Holmes scored anyway. I think he was held up, but we've got a penalty here. 4 minutes out from halftime, Sam. Do you take the 2 or do you keep the pressure on?
I'm pretty confident if they take the tap, they score. It looks like they're going to.
They've taken the tap here as Clemmer. Big shift from Clemmer. He's played the opening 37 minutes. Big Clem getting his legs back underneath him as King Togia goes, and they go short to Toby Couchman, who has moved to the right-hand side of the field. Injuries forced Jaden Sewer off. Thank you, Jaden, for scoring the try first. As we come open side here, Kyle Flanagan throws a dummy and takes a shot at the line. Flanagan's pulled down 1 metre out centre of the field as Damien Cook looks open side, and he turns Big Pacifica Tonga back on the inside, and he's scored. He has scored the big unit. That's his first NRL try. Damien Cook looked one side, went the other, turned the big fella back on the inside. We praised his size, Sam. He's about 6'11". He's just grown 2 inches after that. Look at the size of him. Look at it. You ain't stopping that. That is smart play from Damien Cook, catching tired Knights markers out from behind, out in the play the ball. And as you said, the pressure just the weight of possession and the pressure just got to the Knights, and the young fella sticks his head down. And he's too big, too strong. That's a great try there, Sam. St. George 16-0. They've had all the running from the 20-minute mark, and this is not looking good for Newcastle.
No, it's not, mate. So the first 20 minutes, it felt like both teams were filling each other out, but there was a 10-minute period there where the discipline was good, the errors were minimal, and then there was a penalty that Matt Croker gave away, just as it felt like Newcastle Knights were going to get like a repeat set or really box in the Dragons. And since that mark at about the quarter waypoint, maybe 15 minutes into the first half, the Dragons, while the forwards were already creating great punch up the guts, they really went into another gear, and the Dragons haven't looked back since approximately about the 20-minute mark of this contest, man. And you've been saying it for the past 10 minutes that Jack de Belin, yes, has been fantastic. So too has David Clemmer. And now this big young log has come onto the paddock and scored his first try in first grade. So the Dragons, they beat Broncos 2-3 weeks ago now at Suncorp. They had the bye and they started a little bit slow tonight, but now they're well and truly on form, man. 18-0, 2 minutes to go before halftime.
And the Dragons have gone to their bench, and their bench has provided an impact. Look, Luciano Leilua came off the bench, and obviously he's gone onto the left-hand side. They've moved Toby Couchman to the right-hand side of the field. But Luch's runs have had some venom tonight, and he nearly put young King Tonga over the line. Obviously, Pacifica Tonga has just scored, and Jack de Belin has been absolutely incredible and turned this game on its head. He's been the best player on the park so far. As here he goes for another charge, and he's stopped there from the Knights, 12 metres out from the line, as Damien Cook gets into dummy half, and he throws it to Moses Sully, who's always happy for a big charge there. Big Moses makes 10 metres for the Dragons. Sets after points are very important here, and the Dragons have nailed all of this so far. So, and here we go. They go, oh, there we go. Commentator's curse, Sam. The commentator's curse. It strikes again.
Well, Newcastle Knights need to provide arguably their best set of the season here. They've got a chance with 60 seconds to go.
They're going to challenge this.
Are they?
They're going to challenge this. Newcastle, yeah, Valentine Holmes is saying that he's dropped it onto his knee, which is going to be a knock-on.
Well, yes, so why are you challenging it? Unless if he thinks that he got his foot to the ball.
Look at this. Drops it. Unintentional. Hits his hand again. That's a textbook knock-on. Why would Valentine Holmes challenge that?
We've seen some shockers.
That's not an attempt to kick. And he went screaming at Clint Gutherson to challenge that, and Gutherson challenged it. That has to be an unsuccessful challenge. Yeah. Why would you challenge that? Bloody
Nora. Well, I hope that it doesn't come back to bite them. At this point in time, it doesn't look like it will, but Newcastle Knights...
Saga has asked for the score. It is 18-0 to the Dragons with 1:16 to go.
Yes, sir. Alrighty. So they're about 23 metres out here. The Knights have decided to have a scrum to the far right. They're now shifting it out left. Gamble, it was Cogger that was flat-footed, and he got it off to Gamble, and then he then got it off to, I think that's Dylan Lucas or Kyle McCarthy there. Not too sure. It is Kyle McCarthy. He plays the ball just inside or about 19 metres away. It's now working its way right to Kai Pearce-Paul, and Pearce-Paul comes a little bit more in field and gets to the 10-metre line. 49 seconds remaining. Pearce-Paul plays the ball. Crossland feign to go left. Went right. Found Thomas Kant on the right. Thomas Kant, good run. Nice post-contact meters. Stopped right in front of the sticks. Third tackle. Crossland goes right to Cogger. Right to Gagai. And that's a 2-on-2, but Gagai fends... No, bumped off one, but stuck to him like glue, did Valentine Holmes. This year's fourth tackle. Schiff played way out left. Now it's Cogger, Gamble. I think that's Thomas Kahn or Jack Hetherington playing the ball there, about 8 meters out. And this is last tackle. This is Gamble now out the back to Sharp, puts in the grubber kick, and it's battered dead by Gutherson, and that will be halftime.
Smart play there from Clint Gutherson. The grubber kick is not the option on that point there unless you don't get the ball bouncing up high. But the minute it's high, you just smash the ball over the dead ball line. You got 35 seconds. Yeah. By the time they even get the ball back. And here we are. Gutherson's arguing about the worst knock-on call in history that he challenged.
Yes.
Gutho, just take the L and move on, mate. He's still going to hit his knee. Yeah, after he dropped it. Gutho, he dropped it. Stop it. You're not in Parramatta anymore. Get the Moses off you.
Oh,
get back into the sheds, mate. But look, the Dragons, the opening 20 minutes of this game was an absolute dog's breakfast, and the Dragons have finished the stronger here, Sam. 18 points to 0. What's the message from Newcastle?
I'm trying to think, man. Like, Gagai didn't get himself involved too much in that first half just then, so he needs to rev up a couple of cogs. Crossland, I thought he tried a fair bit, but Damien Cook was super creative. Like, we're talking about the forwards there in the first half, DeBellin, Clemmer, and the young King Togi, I think his name was, that scored Pacifica Tonga, I should say, apologies. But Damien Cook has been that bloke that has created the space. He has been, I think he's got a try assist to his name, I believe, Damien Cook. So Damien Cook has been very good. Crossland needs to be a bit more creative. Sharp, Sharp can only do what he can when you've got Cogger and Gamble as a halves combination, can't you? I don't know, man. They're in a world of trouble at the moment, Newcastle Knights. Kalen Ponga not backing up tonight. Adam Elliott injured as well, so they are down a couple of troops. But Jaden Sewer, in saying that, got Terry's first try of the game, and Terry had a bet on him, and now Jaden Sewer's gone off, and Dragons are playing with 16 men at the moment. So, yeah, I don't know, man. Newcastle are just in a world of hurt after I thought that they started the game okay, and then from about the 20-minute mark, 25-minute mark, Dragons just went into a different gear, and the Newcastle Knights could not stop it.
They weren't able, and that's the one thing about momentum in rugby league, Sam. Once you get it, it's very hard to lose it unless you keep making errors. And the Dragons were making error upon error in the opening 20 minutes. So at one point we said they were completing at 57%. Yep. And since that point, I think they've only made the one drop ball, which was through the commentator's curse by myself on Valentine Holmes. Look, Newcastle in the beginning were throwing the more dangerous jabs. But, yes, and George have thrown the absolute haymakers and got themselves out of trouble here. I think the game changed when Jack DeBellin came on the field. He has been the best player on the park by a long, long way, and the Dragons are getting more out of the bench. Newcastle went to their bench and they haven't had the same impact. But Jack DeBellin, Luciano Leilua, Loco Pacifica Tonga, they've laid a foundation here. I think Clint Gutherson's been very, very good for them, and Damien Cook has been sensational as well. But if you're asking me who's been good for Newcastle, no one.
It's hard to say. Like, the young man Fletcher Hunt on the wing has taken a couple of jumps up in the air and has been safe when he was under some pretty good pressure by the Dragons. But I mean, that right edge for Newcastle Knights, I think in Cogger, Gagai, and Schiller have done FA, to be perfectly frank with you, in that first half. And there's just nothing else coming off of the bench. Like, Kai Pearce-Paul is trying, but I don't know. I never personally got I don't see the hype about Kai Pearce-Paul at this point in time of his career. What do you think about Kai Pearce-Paul in his first grade career at the moment, man? Sorry to put you on the spot like that.
I think he's got an NRL career in him, but the way that Newcastle play, he's just not the edge back row for them. They like their back rowers like Dylan Lucas to be aggressive, go in for lots of work. And whilst Kai Pearce-Paul can look busy, he's not, he's more Britton Nickerer than he is Dylan Lucas. I think he does need to move away from the Knights. I don't know if the Tigers is the right move for him, but then when you think about it in the NRL, where is the right move for him? This kid just screams Canberra, but Canberra have got some great back rowers.
Don't even compare. Don't even compare at the moment.
They've honestly got some great back rowers there, but the England connection, he could probably go and make an impact off the bench for him. But yeah, look, I do think that there is something there in him. He's untapped talent, he's untapped potential, and you can see the frame on him. If he can put some muscle on, like his, Loco Pacifica Tonga, as we have a comment here, Kai Piss Poor. No, look, he'll be all right. But yeah, I don't think he's anywhere near the amount of money that's been quoted for him
No.
in the marketplace. No, you could probably do if he moves for more money than Jamal Fogarty does, I'll probably give this game away.
100%, man. And look, the update, we don't know where I'm watching this game on mute.
It says he's out. I've seen a Twitter thing that says he's out for the rest of the game. He's not coming back.
All right, then. Oops, sorry, I'm not too sure what it might have been. It could have been a calf, it could have been a hamstring. Not too sure what it is at this stage, which is unfortunate for him because he's still in the mix to be a Queensland Maroon after the performance that was put up the other day as well. Rugby league history, I say it as a St. Helens supporter, as he used to play for Wigan. So rugby league history, got a little bit more knowledge on Kai Pearce-Paul, watching him over there in the Super League for Wigan. So obviously not a fan of Kai Pearce-Paul, but let's not turn this into a bash fest on the poor bugger. Jesus Christ. Newcastle Knights are going like a busted ass anyway, just quietly. Yeah, dude. So I want to touch on something. I feel like I can rant with you, Terry. I feel in a comfortable space whenever I'm with you, Terry, mate. I want to talk, and I don't want to, but I just want to rant with you, and you're probably over it, and I hope you don't roll your eyes when I say it, but I am so disgusted by the Lachlan Galvin situation. So we have seen him train today in Bulldogs colours when the Tigers and the Bulldogs haven't made anything official, and the journos have said, oh my God, he's done something wrong here. And this guy has been touted by not just Phil Gould, by a couple of other people as well, but primarily Gus, that he is the best young talent in a couple of decades or so. And this guy is 19 to 20 years old and has not proven anything. And I'll tell you what, man, you're a little bit older than me and you've got more knowledge than me. But to me, bro, for such a young fella, I can't remember such a bizarre and distasteful transition between clubs for such a young man who has proven absolutely fucking nothing. Excuse my French. I just, if the stories are true that he has that level of a bad attitude, it's even worse. But I'm just going to give him that little bit of a benefit of the doubt there. But I just can't believe how shithouse the journalism has been over Lachlan Galvin and how much focus has been on a young man that has proven absolutely fucking nothing.
Yeah, look, we've been mentioning on Rugby League Outlaws now that there's lots of parties to blame for this this bitter exit that you have. I think the Tigers, you've got to have a look at the the way that they've gone about this. I think you have to look at his manager, and you also have to look at the kid as well. Now, the kid's not being advised very well, and just for full dexterity, the after the video was released today, the Bulldogs have announced the signing on a 3.5-year deal for Lachlan Galvin, and they've let him go in front of the cameras with an absolutely shocking haircut. Say no more. Now, look, the West Tigers, I think a lot of the blame needs to fall on their shoulders with the way that they handled the situation by leaking everything to the media, by going to the media and saying, we went to his manager and we offered his manager the biggest contract in our history and the biggest contract for a teenager in rugby league history, and they didn't even want to see it. Now, this is the kid who the year before, 4 games after his debut, was agitating for a release then and there. And he said, all right, I'm going to stay. I'm going to put all contract talks on hold. I'm being paid pretty well. I'm being paid well above, the market. I've been paid on potential rather than value. There's rumors going around that he's on $300,000 at the moment, which is, Jeremy, hope you're doing well. Hey, Jay, how you doing? Better than your nights, Jez. But look, I'll say this. They shouldn't have leaked it because I think the situation got out of hand the minute they allowed this to go and play out in front of the media. What they should have done when they were told by Isaac Moses that they didn't want to even review the contract offer was to get Moses and Galvin in a room and find out why. But then it got played out through the media by Isaac Moses, who said Lachlan Galvin doesn't think that his career can develop at the Tigers. He doesn't think there's any room for him. He's not the man anymore. He doesn't like Benji Marshall's coaching style. He doesn't like the way that the forwards are structured. There's a lot of things that he doesn't like about the club. But the Tigers have allowed that to play out in the media because they went first and threw the bathwater out, the toys out of the bathwater, or baby out with the bathwater, toys out of the cot, sorry, is what I'm looking for, and said, well, we offered him all this money and he doesn't want to go. But that's your fault for allowing that to get to the media. Then you have to have a look at who you're dealing with. Now, Isaac Moses has the moral compass of a... and, of course, he's going to let this play out. He's got mates in the media, and he doesn't care what he looks like, because at the end of the day, he's getting paid good money. And then throw it back to the Tigers, who said, well, we're going to drop him, but now if you want to come back, you've got to stand in front of the playing group and tell them why you want to leave. But that's a bit crap as well. And you played that out in the media.
Yeah, there is such thing as being too honest.
Yeah, so the Tigers have allowed this situation to play out in the media, and now they're playing the whole woe is me card. Why doesn't this kid want to stay? Probably because your club's a shambles. Yeah. Right? And now we're saying that Lachlan Galvin hasn't proved anything, but he's also said that Benji Marshall is not the coach for him, and Benji hasn't proved anything either. All Benji Marshall has proved is that he can go to the Panthers and take some players, but he can't bring the Panthers culture with him. And I get it, the whole claw thing, and they got everyone early, and yes, I'm going to get a message they beat the Sharks. I get that. See you in the finals, hopefully. But what I'm getting at here is that there's three sides to this story that has painted everyone in a bad picture. I'm over it. I'm glad he's gone somewhere else because we don't have to hear about it anymore. I don't think he made the right choice. I think he should have gone to Parramatta to replace Dylan Brown. He's now going to the Bulldogs to play halfback. But, you know, as he's going to have the number 7 on his back, and he's going to be the man to lead the Bulldogs around. This is what he wanted. He's under a good coach. We know that Cameron Ciraldo is a good coach. He's at a good club. The Bulldogs are one of the biggest clubs in the NRL, and they've probably got the best general manager in the business in Gus Gould. Now, if he thinks that he's gone and there's no spotlight on him, think again, kid, because you've gone to the team coming first and you've put a target on your back, and 16 other teams, man, they're coming for you. They will be coming for you when you step foot on the field in that blue and white jersey. And congratulations to you for getting the 3.5-year deal. You've now got a target on your back.
Yeah, to be fair as well, Lachlan Galvin isn't going for $1 million. The Bulldogs have been smart in offering, we believe, $700,000 a year, a little bit around there, up or under thereabouts. So it's not a pure $1 million deal, man. So yeah, it's a shame that obviously Benji Marshall and Galvin couldn't quite see eye to eye in that regard. And also Jerome Luai and Appy Coruscant, very forthright in their actions as well to publicly drop him like that. Don't forget also Sunia Taruva's post on Instagram as well. Like, yeah, you're exactly right. The Tigers are not faultless in this situation at all. And there have been instances where I've sat back and gone, Tigers, can you just shut the fuck up, please? Because you were in such a good situation, seemingly for the first time in about 5 seasons at the very least, man. And yeah, whilst Galvin wanted to go, try to be more respectful next time of when a youngster may just want to get out and play for somebody else. So yeah, I'm completely over it. It's actually the first time I've opened up about it publicly right here and right now about Lachlan Galvin, and I've been sick of it since the first day that a hint of it was even dropped. So we're getting closer to it finishing, but yeah, you're right. The spotlight still will remain very hot and bright on Lachlan Galvin until they play each other in a couple of months' time, the Tigers and the Bulldogs.
Now, Rugby League history said the only young player I've seen that have all this much hype in the history that I've watched Rugby League is Joseph Suaalii. And
that is another one.
Whilst, yes, I agree with you, I just look at Lachlan Galvin and I think he screams Wade Graham to me. He's going to end up as a ball-playing edge back rower who Wade Graham had all the hype coming through. He was the youngest Australian schoolboys ever. They actually changed the rule that it was the Wade Graham rule for a long point in time. That you had to be in year 11 to play Australian schoolboys because Wade Graham was in year 10 when they picked him, but he was just that good. So, yeah, I agree with that. I think, you know, the amount of hype that's around him. He says, I've never seen someone talked about so much for a debut or what they were doing. The media fawned over him like no tomorrow. Look, fair enough. They have. He's a good player. I don't think he's great. And you're right, Sam. He hasn't shown anything yet. But look, we'll see how he goes at the Dogs. Jay Stryker said, I don't know where he fits in at the Dogs. I'm hearing he's going to play halfback. So anyway, as the Dragons are making their way back onto the field, Sam, but that was a good rant. I'm glad you opened up to me. Therapy. This is a safe space, Sam. You and I friends.
Yes, and to the 37 people in here, feel free to rant as well. This is a safe place. We're not qualified, but you're more than welcome to. It is safe as well. So, yes, thank you, everybody, for tuning in. And now we're having fun, but it's 18-0, and the Newcastle Knights need to be the first team to score, and inside the first 10 minutes, obviously.
They need to do something, Sam. That team talk from Adam O'Brien, whether it's his last one, it needs to be his best one.
All righty, and just quickly, Alan Zuma from Papua New Guinea he's a Knights faithful. So thank you very much for tuning in from Papua New Guinea. Terry and I were going international. It's absolutely fantastic. 42 people in the chat. Thank you again. Please subscribe to Rugby League Outlaws and Watchalong Draw Sports. As kickoff is underway, Newcastle Knights are going to receive the ball. They do take it on the full, and they're running right to left. And this is Dylan Lucas who crashes in to the Dragons pack. There's about 4 of them to meet them. And now he finally plays the ball 15 metres out from his own try line on the side closest to the interchange sideline. And Brodie Jones now just centralises them a little bit more. He plays the ball just beyond the 20. This here is Jack Hetherington. He's able to get to the 30-metre line, and it's third tackle here. And 30 seconds into the second half, Crossland passes right infield. I believe that is Thomas Cant with a nice carry, a nice speedy old carry, and Crossland on fourth goes right. This here is Fletcher Sharp, and he steps and is scheming, but he's not able to do too much there, but he does get to halfway, right in the middle of Winjubilee Stadium, and this is Jack Cogger kicking from right on halfway.
And they're targeting the young kid on debut here, Nathan Lawson, as he goes through. He goes through here. And he's pulled... Oh, no, he's still going.
Go, Sutton!
He's still going.
Holy smokes.
I just dropped out of connection there, but Toby Couchman goes in. And we are open here to Luciano Leilua. Have we got a bit of a delay between us, Sam, or not?
So Luciano Leilua, I can see him playing the ball right now.
Yeah, sweet. So David Clemmer has just taken a run here because you said holy smokes and I wasn't sure what you were talking about. And Damien Cook goes open side. Fourth tackle here. Liking King Tonga turns it inside to Loco Pacifica Tonga. He's a big unit. Is he going to lose control of that ball? No. Here we go. Cook goes open side here. Fifth tackle, Kyle Flanagan. Throws it out. Throws a hospital pass to Liking King Tonga, who gets away. King Tonga is still going. Puts in an absolutely shocking kick. And... off it goes.
Piss weak chase there by the Newcastle Knights to allow the debutant Lawson to run approximately 60 metres downfield, and they're on the back foot already here, Newcastle Knights. It's a bit of rinse and repeat here as McCarthy now is driven back towards his own 10. This here, I believe, is James Schiller, and he bounces away from one and gets up over the 20. So that's a decent carry from him, much needed. Crossland, a dummy half, runs to the right a bit before finding Brodie Jones. He gets up over the 30, and he's going to play the ball about 14 metres shy of halfway, right in the centre. Crossland goes right, finds Cogger, right to Kai Pearce-Paul, and he's able to get up over the 40-metre line by a few metres, stop just shy of halfway. Fourth tackle, 3 minutes gone in the second half. Crossland passes left in field for Cant. He dummies and goes himself and gets over halfway by just a couple of metres there. So not a bad set to get out of their own end, but see the stat there, 21 missed tackles to just the 2 there for the Dragons.
It goes down to Nathan Lawson, who had a great run returning this. Now, the Knights were complaining for a penalty. Now, stat just came up there. 2 missed tackles from the St. George Illawarra Dragons. 21 tackles for the Newcastle Knights. They're going to need to tighten this up as Big Luch goes for a run here. Third tackle, he's short just of the halfway line. This is a good start for the second half for the Newcastle Knights at DeBellin. He takes it up over halfway line here on the fourth tackle. He's pushed back a little bit. Damien Cook goes open side here to Clint Gutherson. Gutherson goes to Kyle Flanagan. Flanagan out to Sully. And Sully's dropped the ball cold. Sully has dropped the ball cold. There's a knock on here called. And the Knights, they were begging for an opportunity. And here it comes.
And they don't have a challenge, Dragons.
They don't because they wasted it on the worst knock-on you've ever seen, but that's just a loose carry. That's a knock-on. You're not going to overturn that either. So Sully saved himself some blushes.
Absolutely. So they need to work something here for Dylan Lucas. I think Hype's Paul has been the main target for the Knights in attack, but Dylan Lucas needs to get a little bit more involved here, but he has been marked by Couchman and Sewer all night as the Knights win the scrum and they go right to Gagai. That's a great run, pushing away from Valentine Holmes. That's a 20-meter play there for Gagai. Fantastic stuff. Gagai plays it right next to the sideline. Pass left in field here for Dylan Lucas now. He's able to get up over the 30-meter line by a couple of meters, so they're about 25 meters away here. Thomas Kant passes left to Gamble. He dummies and then finds Dylan Lucas again. Wow. And Crossland waits a dummy half. He scoots to the right, passes right to Jack Hetherington, and Hetherington able to get to the 10-meter line and goes beyond it by a meter or so. Full tackle, 5 minutes gone in the second half. Crossland goes right, can't, just goes straight and hard. Oh, that was a dangerous run. Good run there. But this is last tackle now, right in front of the posts. Crossland goes out the back to the right for Cogger. Right to Pierce Paul. Oh, he passed it, but the ball touched on the grass, unfortunately.
Oh, Sam, he did everything right, and then he did everything wrong. Got to his knees, didn't go to ground, and
yep.
Oh, that's a shame for the kid. That's an absolute shame for the kid. But straight away, Valentine Holmes knew what the call was. Sharks got pinged with that the other weekend, so I'm very, very glad that was a little bit of consistency as the penalty relieves the pressure on the Dragons. Now they've had the last 4 penalties of the game, and Valentine Holmes is taken on his own 40-meter line. We've got to play the ball here. Open side, Luciano Leilua comes in for a run, and he's dragged down 45 metres out from his own line, right near the halfway line here. And the Dragons have started this second half almost the way they finished it. Clemmer hasn't had a break yet, and he goes for a strong run over the halfway line as the Dragons go back to the short side, open to Moses Sully, and Sully's tackled 30 metres out from his own line on tackle 4 here. And they go again, short side, Toby Couchman. That's a good, strong run. 16 metres out, or 17 metres out from his own line here, Couchman, as they go open side now to Flanagan, who puts up a bomb, and it's deep. It hasn't got the biggest amount of height on it, but it's claimed by Gagai, and he's tackled in the in-goal area. So that will be the third forced dropout from the Dragons. That was actually a good kick by Flanagan. I wasn't sure it was high enough for his chasers to get through, but get through they did, Sam.
It was a good catch from Gagai as well. Well done to Gagai there. To the 42 people that are in the chat, thank you very much. Please subscribe to Rugby League Outlaws and Wobble and Jaw Sports. Follow the hyperlink in the name of the title, and you'll go to the Rugby League Outlaws page.
That's a great kick from the Dragons, and they cop a shock and bounce. Fletcher Hunt, poor kid, as here we go. The Dragons have the ball now. Is that zero tackle or is that first tackle? That's zero tackle. They go open side here. Flanagan throws the ball onto Pacifica Tonga, and he is having a huge impact in this game as he's taken now 21 metres out from his own line. He goes open side here to Bellin. Bellin slips, but he makes it inside the 20, so that'll be more tackles inside the 20-metre line for the Dragons here. And the Knights, they are getting peppered here. Valentine Holmes goes across field, and Nathan Lawson's taken into touch. The Dragons want a penalty. They're not going to get it.
Good defense. Good defense from James Schiller on that occasion. Well done. It's killing me. I've got to know. I should have done it at halftime, but I'm going to just see some of the stats here. So David Clemmer has had 11 runs for 127 meters. And then we're going to find, where is Jack de Bellin? He's had 8 carries for 84 meters tonight, but David Clemmer absolutely killing it. And Nathan Lawson has had himself 10 runs for 133 on debut. So good work from him as young Fletcher Hunt now is stopped on the 20-meter line, his own 20-meter line. And now Brayley's on the paddock, and he runs to the right-hand side and makes an effective 10 meters on that play. Wanting a quick play of the ball, Crossland at dummy half, passes left, flat here for, I think that's Brody Jones, gets up to the 40-meter line. He's able to offload back to Thomas Kant, but the referee called held. Unfortunately, I've seen some of those let go in the past. 4th tackle here on the 40, and Bradley finds Thomas Kant, and he's able to make 10 meters there on that play. Good run from Kant again, but it's last tackle. They've gotten to halfway, and now Gamble kicks from the shorter side.
Straight to Gutherson, Mr. Reliable, and he takes the ball up to the 20. Was about to get driven back past the ball to Lawson, who slips over, and he's tackled about 19 metres out from his own try line on tackle 1. And he goes open side here to Sloan, who gets just over the 20. That's a great legs tackle there from Tyson Gamble. As now Moses Sewley comes in for a run, and he makes some good meters here. He's had a power of a game, and he gets an offload here to... Is that Jacob Little out on the field now? It is. Jacob Little's out on the field.
Oh, here we go.
Along with Damien Cook. So they've got this one roving, one dummy half player as Clemmer now. Strong run from David Clemmer. Gets them over the halfway line on tackle 4. The Dragons, they're just relentless tonight. And here they go with Jack DeBellin, who is having an absolute perler of a game here. DeBellin goes open side, and it goes short. They go the other side here to Lycan King Togia, who puts a kick up. It didn't have enough depth on it or enough height for his chasers to come through, Sam. But not a bad kick.
No, not a bad kick, but Schiller does take it inside his own 10. So Dragons looking to box in the Newcastle Knights, and Gagai has a brave hit up, and only minimal gain there on that play there for Newcastle. 10 minutes gone in the second half, and it's still 18 points to 0. And I believe that this is young Fletcher Hunt able to fight his way to the 20-metre line. It's third tackle now. Bradley left infield here for Dylan Lucas, I believe, and he's able to get to the 30-metre line. Fourth tackle, they got to do something here, Newcastle Knights, as Brayley goes right, and that's Crossland running straight and hard, but that's not his job, man. He got it off right to Brodie Jones, I think that is, and he's tackled on the 40, and now Cog is kicking on his own 40-metre line.
And that goes down to Clint Gutherson, who charges the ball back to the 30-metre line here. So the Dragons, again, will start with good territory as Cole Flanagan's in at dummy half. And that's an open side run to Nathan Lawson, and he's just getting through a mountain of work here. So we've had some good rugby players come through, switch over and come over and make a good crack at rugby league. It's Tyrell Sloan here. He's up near the halfway line, and Little's in at dummy half. He throws it to Lycan King Togia, and he saw a gap there, and it was quickly closed by Jack Cogger and Kai Pearce-Paul. As now it goes to Clemmer, who still hasn't had a rest yet. Big Clem. He's punched out 52 minutes at the moment, David Clemmer, as the Dragons a chip behind. Tyrell Sloan catches and flicks the ball back on the inside. I don't think that's gone forward. It hasn't gone forward here in Kyle Flanagan. Oh, no, now they've called it forward. Why wouldn't you just blow the whistle straight away then? I don't know. I didn't think that was forward. I thought he threw that back in. If he throws it back in behind his back, whatever.
I know, I get you. That's the first real time that I've heard Tyrell Sloan's name tonight, mate. Like, that's the first real thing that he's done.
His back. How's that? That's one, not a forward pass, and two, not a knock on.
Yeah, I get you. No, I get you. All right then. So, second tackle here. Gagai will play it on his own 20. And now this is James Schiller with a straightforward hit up, but he's stopped just shy of the 30-metre line. Third tackle now. They're a bit right of centre, and Brayley comes left and finds Crossland, who runs against the grain, and he gets to about the 40-metre line here. It's fourth tackle. Brayley goes back left. Jones left to Gamble, and then this is Dylan Lucas running diagonally, and he's able to get to halfway, but again, tackles up. Last tackle, Brayley passes left, and this is Gamble that just looks for a bit of... All right, so that's gone over the sideline.
Look for a bit of field position there. Look, the Knights need to try. They need to do something new. This whole... I know they're trying to get some territory, some field position and force an error, but it's not working for them at the moment. You got to try something new. You got to try an offload. You got to try some sweep plays. You got to try some blocks out wide. But this, short crash ball to your back row is getting a little bit too predictable at the moment. There's a penalty here for a high shot on Lawson. It looks like he might have picked up a bit of an injury.
Yeah, but that's a slip, unfortunately. That's a really unlucky penalty. I don't begrudge the Newcastle Knights there at all. As Lawson just slipped into the defence.
Yeah, he did. He did slip into the defence, and I know you're supposed to say, what's Thomas Kant supposed to do there? The thing is, you can't hit him in the head.
No.
So I get it. I'm glad that these tackles now, they're using mitigating circumstances and a little bit of grey matter when it comes to ruling on this. But Luciano Leilua takes the first hit up, and Jack DeBellin will take the second one here. And I don't like praising Jack DeBellin because he's, as I said last week, he's a terrible set of lads. But here we go. Clemmer again with another run. And this is strong. This is a great performance. This is vintage David Clemmer here. This is turn the clock back. David Clemmer. They go open side here from Damien Cook, who's playing in that lock forward role. And he makes a few metres here. It's fourth tackle here. Jacob Little in at dummy half. Goes open side to Bellin. To Bellin to Flanagan. Flanagan turns it inside to Couchman. Couchman gets up over the 30-metre line. So they're about 27 metres away from their own line here. 27 metres out from the try line here, the Dragons. And they put a bomb up. Now, it's not the deepest, and it's taken here by Mullet number 2.
Mullet number 2 has had a very strong game in the air tonight as Gamble passes right in field, and it's a penalty. Well, Newcastle Knights needed that. Just to add on to David Clemmer's 11 carries for approximately 130 metres, Terry, he's also made himself 27 tackles tonight, 0 misses as well. So he is having an all-time performance, one of his best performances in a few years, man.
And that was one of the things you could always count on Clemmer, was his defence was rock solid no matter what. But yeah, his runs tonight have been full of vigour.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. As Brayley at dummy half goes right. This is the Newcastle Knights' chance here as Kai Pearce-Paul gets to the 40-metre line of the Dragons. Nice post-contact meters. Maybe his best run of the night. Kai Pearce-Paul there. Plays the ball on the Dragons' 30. Ball coming left back in field. Cogger's running forward before passing to Crossland, to Gamble. Left to Sharp. What can Sharp do? He stops, he zigs, he zags, and he's eventually wrapped up there, but he's able to get to the 20 of the Dragons. This is third tackle here. Third tackle, Brayley, dummy half, finds Crossland. He just runs straight and hard. That is not Crossland's job, but gee whiz, man. At least he's showing some Milo as Gamble finds Lucas on fourth. Lucas looked like he wanted to offload
again.
Oh, thank you. All right, so 6 again. This is their chance. Brayley now waiting at dummy half and eventually gets it. Passes right to Gamble, right to Kant. Kant has been nice tonight, man. I'll say that about him. He stopped about 5 short, right in front of the posts. I'll update that time as well just quickly, momentarily, as Brayley goes left. This here is Cogger, back under there for Tyson Gamble, and he just has a hit up. This is third tackle, still in front of the goalposts here. Got to work it for Lucas or Pearce-Paul here, and Brayley just did absolutely nothing to the right-hand side. Holy smokes. Get excited, Raiders next year. So we've got Gamble at dummy half, goes right, and this is Cogger right at the back to Gagai, and he's swarmed by the Dragons. They lost momentum off that play by Brayley. Last tackle, Schiller at dummy half left. Cogger, crossfield kick, McCarthy, Hunt, but it's knocked up by Sloan, and Fletcher Hunt has scored a try. It could be, I think it's his first try in the NRL, but we're going to go to the bunker though.
I think he knocks this on. I don't know who knocks on first, but I definitely think that Fletcher Hunt knocked that ball on.
Oh, boy. All right, so we've got the replay happening
Tyrell
now.
Sloan gets his hands to it, and then... Oh, it's gone backwards. Had to have gone backwards.
I think so. He's touched it, and I think Sloan may have touched it first.
Sloan's definitely touched it first, and then he's pushed that back towards his own try line. That's a try.
At worst, if it's not going to be a try, I think Knights will get possession back.
Knights get the possession back, but I can't see why this won't be a try, because he's knocked that towards his own try line and he catches the ball.
I agree with you. I agree with you.
Nora Wesley has said, score a try, Knights. Try, please. I think this is a try. I think if this is taken off him, it's an absolute bludger of a call, but they're going through to the grounding here, Sam. I think the Knights might be in, and this is exactly how the first half went. No, they're taking it off him.
Oh, it just came up for no try just then.
I wish we had the sound on, Sam. I'm going to yell at the screen in a minute.
No. Come on, mate. Come on. No, we both tip Dragons. This is a happy moment for our tipping, mate. We can't. It's a happy safe
space. They've given the ball to the Dragons,
and they've given the ball. Now that I disagree with. You yell as much as you like. That I disagree with, mate.
Yeah, that should have been Knights ball in the attack. But anyway, the Dragons will thank their lucky stars. As Hamish Stewart had a run now, it's on to Luciano Leilua, and Jacob Little is, he's sniffing around that ruck here. Jacob Little has been an underrated player for the Dragons this year, as Jack DeBellin will take it over the halfway line. Good post-contact meters there from Jack. That's a 14-15 metre run as Liddell goes to Gutherson, who slips over. It's getting a little bit wet out there at Cogra. And Flanagan kicks the ball downfield, and someone with a bad haircut will take the ball.
That would be young Hunt, and he tried to run away from, I think that was Stewart, but he got snapped up, including Cook coming in over the top. This here, I believe, is Kyle McCarthy, if I'm not mistaken, or James Schiller. That was Kyle McCarthy playing the ball on the 20 sharp, runs to the right-hand side and makes about 8 to 9 meters. And this is third tackle, and he's going to play the ball on the 30-meter line. This is Leo Thompson back out there now, and Tyson Frizzell should and has to follow suit very quickly for the Newcastle Knights as Brayley at dummy half goes to the right-hand side. That's Crossland right to Cogger, right to Piss Paul, right to Gagai. What can he do? He beats Valentine Holmes, passes right to Schiller. Schiller's got toe. Schiller beats one, passes left infield. Oh, he found the referee, found Casper. Oh, what's the call here? It's going to be a knock on... No, it's a penalty. Dragons, offside. Oh, man, that's their best player of the night, Newcastle Knights. And they're going to challenge it here.
They're going to challenge. Dan Gagai is saying either he was taken out or he's been shoulder charged. And Grant Atkins has said there's a knock on the floor. So this will be interesting. Gagai feels like he's been done wrong here. Yeah. Oh, I think the ball's gone past Gagai, though. The ball's gone past him, but you still can't do that. And Grant Atkins was right in line with this.
Yep.
You can see Grant Atkins looking at the play. Have a look at this here. The way that Atkins is positioned. Now, the ball has gone past Gagai. I don't think there's a problem with that.
I agree. I agree.
Ball has, yeah, we've agreed on a lot of calls tonight that have been overturned.
That's
the ball's gone. The ball's gone past. Now, Grant Atkins, the most important thing to have a look at there is Grant Atkins' positioning, and he looked at that and he waved it off, and he called a knock on the ground. Actually, called a penalty because Oh, they've called it tackle without the ball, Sam. The ball had gone past him.
I reckon we're 0-4 tonight, mate. I just can't. I just can't keep up with the bunkers interpretations, mate. I really can't. It's why I tried to stay out of it.
He had no chance of catching that ball.
It was way too high, and it went about 3 meters to the left of him by the time Holmes touched him.
Yeah, if that ball had gone to Pacifica Tonga, you could probably say that he might have stuck his arm out and caught it, but Dan Gagai's 5'5". He ain't catching that ball.
No, he could have caught that with his mouth. He's that tall. All right, so play on here. First tackle. It's gone out to the left-hand side, and now it's with Dylan Lucas now. And he's going to be stopped about 5 short of the try line. A little bit left of the sticks here. Knights running right to left, but a 6 again blown here. Brayley at dummy half. Goes right, finds Gamble. Right to... I think that might have... I can't bloody tell, Terry. Gee whiz. I think that was Thompson, but play on. Brayley goes back left. This is Gamble, and it was too low, and he had to get down to catch it. But it's second tackle. They're 10 meters out here. Brayley at dummy half goes left. This is Crossland. Flat pass to Leo Thompson. And Thompson trying to back his way, but is stopped. He's brought down. Alrighty. Third tackle. Brayley goes back right. This is Gamble. He runs before passing right to Thompson. And Thompson was smashed there. No, it was Frizzell. He was smashed there. Brayley runs to the right, finds... Oh, no, it's been knocked on by jersey number 18, Cogger. Oh, Struth. Great defense by Holmes.
Valentine Holmes went for that exact play on Wednesday night in Origin and came up with a hot dog. Tonight he gets it right.
Yes, sir. Yep. Yeah, good play there by Valentine Holmes, man. Far out.
Yeah, look, great defense there from the Dragons. Newcastle not throwing anything at him, though. Like, we said it. I said it in the first half that the Dragons were camped on the Knights end, and they probably could have had 60 tackles, and they weren't going to concede. Flip that over now, because Newcastle don't look dangerous. They don't look threatening at all, and this is the problem for the Knights all season. Has been points. Their defensive record, despite being down 18-0, their defensive record is not too bad, and they don't usually get blown out all that often. But the attack is what's letting Newcastle down. They can't score any points. I made a tweet, and it's going absolutely mental, so I'm getting a little bit distracted here by my phone. I apologise, Sam, as Little has a great run from dummy half. LinkedIn's telling me to play some games. Blake Laurie's back on the field, and I think that might be David Clemens' first rest for the night.
Well done.
Yep. He's had a huge game, a great shift. As Kyle Flanagan puts a kick up, it's not high nor deep, and that should be taken nicely by Mullet.
Mullet number 2 plays the ball for Mullet number 1, and this is Kyle McCarthy, and he's just met solidly here. This is just going to be, see, like, I'm not even confident that they do anything here, but watch them do something now. They'll just get to halfway, but Thompson offloads back to Brayley.
And there's a
it's
penalty
been penalty for obstruct. Like, yeah, dude, I just don't know where Newcastle go to from here, mate. And look, we'll save this conversation for another time, but like Dylan Brown's not going to go up there and help.
Save it for full time. Yeah. I think there might be a coach sacked in the morning. Do you take the 2 here and make it 20-0, or?
Yeah, have a breather and make it a full
Doesn't
score.
Look like they're going to do it, are they? Are they going to do? Yeah, Valentine Holmes has walked in and told Damien Cook to give him the ball. So he's got a nice bit of mascara on his eye there, Valentine Holmes. He's copped an absolute shot to the face.
Oh, I did not see that. Oh, there you go. I'm not going to give the points to him early because
you can't unhandsome Valentine Holmes no matter what you do, though. Like, that is a good-looking man.
Oh, well, apples and oranges, bro, I guess.
It doesn't matter what you say about Valentine Holmes. You could give him 10 of those bruises, mate. He's still going to be a handsome fella.
Oh, I see.
Like yourself.
Oh, stop it. I don't think I'm blushing. I think I'm just a bit overheated by the piss that I took. Or drank, sorry. Yeah, dude. I'm just so flat about Newcastle, man. Like, yeah, I asked you before, like, if Kalen Ponga plays in this game, is there much of a difference? And there's not. No. It'd still be 20 points to nil with 17 minutes to go, even if Ponga was playing tonight.
Yeah, look, Newcastle's defense isn't too bad. You know, they've conceded 208 points, and for reference, Cronulla, who are in the 5, have conceded top 5, conceded 248. The Warriors 216, the Raiders 264, the Dogs 202. So they're up there defensively, but they're the only team that hasn't cracked 200 points scored at the moment.
They still haven't cracked 200. Oh,
they're at 153 points, and it looks like it's going to take them another 3 or 4 games to get there, Sam. This is like, I don't know. There's only a certain amount of times where I don't even know if you can ping this on Adam O'Brien. You got to have a look at your club's internal recruitment as to, 1, why you aren't producing the juniors through, or 2, why you like. I get it. Dylan Brown's coming through, and there's, you know, he's coming up to the team now, but you got to go and be more aggressive in the marketplace. Like, you're not going to get your Lockie Galvins. Obviously, they overpaid for Dylan Brown, but you've got to go out there. You've got to find something. As King Togia goes for a run here, and Damien Cook's going to go for a scoot, throws the ball to Hamish Stewart, who gets up at the 40-metre line. This is a great set here, and that should be a penalty.
Oh, yes, it is. Yes, it will be. Yep.
Straight away, so that was a crusher from Leo Thompson. We didn't mean it. Absolutely didn't mean it. Unfortunately, the guy turned around and backed into him, but that is textbook crusher tackle there. And Leo Thompson will probably find himself $1,000 lighter in the pocket tomorrow morning.
I mean, they've got to be careful here too, Newcastle. Like, sure, like defensively, they're not doing too bad, but I think it feels like, Terry, I don't know about you, but it feels like to me that if Dragons score here in the next set, 2-3 more. They're going to score 3 more, man.
Yeah, and that's the thing. You know, Newcastle are doing very, very well to stop the damn wall from bursting, but it feels like that, you know, it's cracking and it's leaking, and if it's breached here, it feels like it'll be breached 3 or 4 more times. Josh Randall said they need a 7. Brown won't help them. Could have had Fogarty or Sexton for a half for what they paid for Brown. You need Dylan Brown, though. Or they need Dylan Brown. I don't think Toby Sexton's the answer. As here we go, the Dragons through Valentine Holmes. He's 15 metres out from the line now. Gutherson's in at dummy half, and he goes open side to King Togia, who goes to Little. And Little goes to Flanagan, who engages the line and brings Moses Sully back under. And Sully has been so good tonight with these damaging runs that take 3 or 4 nights to bring him down. And look how much space they have here as Damien Cook goes for a run and Liddell dummies to kick. And he goes under. Liddell gets an offload here to Toby Couchman. There's some space here for Couchman, and Couchman is brought down, centimetres. He's held up. In fact, he's held up over the line. Great scrambling defence there from Newcastle. We just praised their defensive efforts throughout the season. You just got to turn that into points now as Flanagan comes open side, goes to local King Tongia, and Tongia puts a grubber kick in here, and this will be another goal line dropout. This will be another dropout here, so that's 4-0 for the Dragons. That is 4-0.
Great pressure there from the Dragons. Yeah, and this young 5'8" man has played a decent old hand tonight. The young fella, King Tongia.
Do you know who he looks like in his early days? He looks like early days Isaiah Katoa.
Okay, all right. Okay.
And it's knocked on there from Newcastle. Double knock on here. Dragons ball about 23 metres out from the line. Yeah, look, just the way that he moves, the way he straightens and squares the line up from King Tongia, I like that. I don't think he'll ever be in the class of Isaiah Katoa because Katoa has just, turned into an absolute machine here. But, early days, straightening the line up, playing a very, very nice role there for the Dragons. They look like they've settled on a halves pairing at the moment. And I don't see young Lachlan Ilias getting back into the side. But, look, it is what it is. He's young kid. He's going to make some mistakes. As Little goes for a run here, tries to catch the Knights out, and he makes 16 metres. Geez, Jacob Little is so underrated for what he does off this Dragons bench, and this Dragons bench has been awesome tonight. You could probably pick 3 of their players for man of the match, but Little's in now at dummy half, and that's a crisp ball to Kyle Flanagan, who turns that inside for Hamish Stewart. And their second tackle here, they go back to the short side through Luciano Leilua, and Leilua's trying to crash his way over the line. He's fighting. He's eventually thrown to the ground 3 metres out from the line here, the Dragons. There's 13 minutes to go in this game here. The Knights really have to hold on, but the Dragons, they're going open side to Sully, and Sully goes to Sloan, and Sloan's got too much pace, and I think he might have bobbled that ball. They'll give it a try. They'll call it a try, but I think he might have bobbled that ball over the line. Here we are, Grant Atkins. He's going up, no try. I think he bobbled that, Sam. I think he's knocked that on over the line.
I'm not wearing glasses. I'm not wearing glasses.
Back. Yes, no try.
Yeah, I saw a bit of a bobble myself.
Oh, yeah, he's definitely bobbled that. Saw that straight away. No try. Great from Grant Atkins. I thought Atkins would do the safe thing and send it up a try, but he saw the bobble as well. So got to give the touch judge credit for this because he was the one that called it. But yeah, Atkins was in no position to see that. He's relied on a call from his touch judge, and we're going back to the 20.
All right, well, 12 and a half minutes. I know Knights haven't shown much, but they're actually still alive. It is 4 tries with 12 and a half minutes to go. Anything's freaking possible, man, but they got to do it like in the next couple of minutes, man.
What's the call here? It should be out for a 20-metre tap. What's the call here? The touch judge is on the field. What are you doing? Get off.
Oh.
You got no business being on the field. I'll tell you what, for a touch judge, if you want to enter the field, you've got to have a mullet. That's the only way a touch judge should be able to enter the field.
Oh, my goodness. What a prerequisite, bro. All right, so Gagai makes about 5 metres forward from the 10-metre line. They're out to the right side. Brayley goes right. This is Kai Pearce-Paul again. Not knocking the effort of Kai Pearce-Paul tonight, man. The Dragons have contained him, though. And this here is Matt Croker. He gets to the 30-metre line. Well, he was looking to get that offload away, but couldn't. Third tackle, Brayley. He passes left. This is Thompson. Left to Gamble. Left to Sharp. Left to Kyle McCarthy, and Sully takes him down. McCarthy able to get to halfway. Now Hunt passes from dummy half to Gamble. Right to Frizzell. Right to Cogger. Right to Gagai. He has not been too bad on Valentine Holmes tonight, and Gagai's just bouncing away from 1 or 2, but eventually Valentine Holmes does take him on the Dragons' 40-metre line, but it's last tackle here, and Cogger just puts it straight up. Frizzell is chasing, and it's dropped by Gutho. But it also looked like that Gamble, who got there first, wasn't even going to get up and compete for the freaking pill, mate. And now there's a potential
they had the disruptor call brought in early last year, and I had a real problem with it when Will Kennedy ran through, jumped for the ball, hit the ball with his hand, and was called for it should have been called a knock on and was called for a disruptor. I don't understand that rule, and now you can just run and jump at the fullback and it's a knock on. But anyway, I'll hand it back to you, Sam.
No, 100%. As Leo Thompson just flicks it. Oh, it's a Kai Pearce-Paul. Oh, well done. Kai Pearce-Paul, Newcastle Knights, they hit back with
I had your first try score of the second half, Sam.
Oh, stop it. Stop it.
His first NRL try as well.
I was just about to say that would have not been more than his third NRL try, but it is his first NRL try. Well done to him. We've absolutely long passed.
Do you want to know what he was playing for first try score of the second half, Sam?
Go on.
$51.
Oh, you're shouting dinner. You're shouting dinner, aren't you? In a month's time, aren't you? Oh, my goodness. Well, look, we've absolutely lambasted him for a half of this game now, man, and he's just stuck it up us, hasn't he? So he scored his first try in the NRL out there at Cogra.
Congratulations to the kid, because he has taken an absolute pasting online from Knights fans, online from NRL Twitter. We've had someone in here calling him Kai Piss-Poor. I think he's been all right. I said he's got an NRL future. If he keeps having games like this, he'll be around the NRL. He'll play 100, 150, 200 games before going back to England. He's a big unit. He's 6'3", yes. 6'4". He's got some growing to do. He's got a solid set of arms on him. We just saw some biceps there. Give us a flex, son. But, yeah, he'll be around for a while.
All righty. So 20-6 with 9 minutes remaining. All righty. Still waiting for kickoff here. Thank you to the 51 people that are sticking around with us as well. Thank you very much for your support. Still waiting for kickoff here. Alrighty. And we've got playback underway. And it's taken on the full there by Hunt. He passes right back infield for Thompson. Strong run. But he's dragged back just a couple of meters. Back to within inside his own 10 now, Thompson. So strong defense there from the Dragons as Brayley goes right, finds Dylan Lucas, makes about 7 meters on that play. Second tackle, 9 minutes remaining. Brayley goes right to Frizzell and he just puts the foot down and he's able to get to the 30-meter line. Good, strong charge there from Frizzell. Third tackle, Brayley goes left. This is Croker. Left to Gamble, left to Sharp. And Sharp, good defense there from the Dragons. But he's able to get to about 8 short of halfway here, Fletcher Sharp. McCarthy, poor pass to Gamble out of dummy half, but it's worked its way to Kai Pearce-Paul, to Dane Gagai. Dane Gagai young one-on-one, flicks to Schiller, up over halfway, gets to the 40-meter line, dances, passes left back in field for Gagai. He's just got to take the tackle here. Man, they should have been doing more of that in the first half. Then it's last tackle here. Jack Cogger left to Gamble. He puts in the crossfield kick now. It is Hunt jumping, catching on the full. He offloaded, but it was touched by the Dragons, but it went backwards, so it's play on for the Dragons.
It is, and Tyrell Sloan's pinned 5 meters out from his line now, and Moses Sully comes in for a strong charge, and he's met there by some good Knights defence. Now, I don't think the Knights are going to run out of time here, but they're starting to show a little bit of ticker as this as Toby Couchman gets up to the 20-meter line on tackle 3, and Liddell's in at dummy half. And that there is Hamish Stewart? Is it? No, it was Nathan Lawson. He goes open side here to Blake Laurie, who's going to play out the remainder of the game instead of David Clemmer, and a big effort from Clem in this game here. As Laurie was just before the 40-meter line, and Kyle Flanagan kicks downfield. It's a good long kick from Flano, taken on the full there by Newcastle.
That's the best start to a set Newcastle have had, possibly all friggin' game. Like, legitimately, holy hell. Fletcher Sharp gets to the 30-meter line. 7 minutes remaining. They got to pretty much score in this set of 6 here. As Schiller, nearly the third obstruction of the night, but he's swallowed there by the Dragons. Plays the ball. Brayley goes left. This is Frizzell up over the 40. Fighting for the offload and gets one away to Brayley. Right to Gamble, right to Cogger, right to Gagai. He's off and running again. And we turned Holmes a little bit inside out there, but they're over halfway here by about 5 meters. Pearce-Paul at dummy half, passes left and puts the foot down, and ball's worked its way infield here. Flat pass for Dylan Lucas, who nearly broke a tackle. And he's going to play the ball about 26 meters away, 27 meters away from the try line. Fourth, Gamble's at first receiver. He's allowed to run 10 to 12 meters, maybe 15, and get to the 10-meter line here. Last tackle, Brayley. Went right, but pass left, and McCarthy drops the ball. Good contact, and now Sloan's off. Oh, nearly.
Open side here to Moses Sully, and Sully is taking that first tackle for the Knights. That's open side here. Nathan Lawson's got a strong game on debut from him as he gets up over the 20-25 metre line here. And now Gutherson, he's taking advantage of a quick play the ball. Jacob Little sent him away, and they're 40 metres out from the line. I think that's the end of the Newcastle Knights. They're in damage litigation mode now as Liddell goes open side, and that's Hamish Stewart on the fourth tackle, and he gets into Knights territory. And that seems to be the story of the night for St George. Every time they're under pressure, they just seem to find a way to get themselves in. As Cook, the beach sprinter, goes across field, misses. First tackle missed, but Dylan Lucas gets him like Lucas always does, and Flanagan puts the bomb up. Sloane's coming through on this one. Here he goes, and it's 6 again. St George have got the ball. Sully goes open side here for Toby Couchman. There's space here for Couchman. Throws that ball. Oh, you got to offload that, son. They had a huge overlap out wide, and Hamish Stewart didn't pass the ball as Little goes back to the open side to Blake Laurie, who runs towards the post. And Laurie's pulled down 1 metre out from the line. So George had Newcastle spread there, and Hamish Stewart had super glue on his hands as a ruck infringement penalty is given now. So the Dragons will get a new set of 6 here, and this will really put a nail in the coffin for the Knights if the Dragons can score here. As it goes open side here, Hamish Stewart gets the ball again. And he goes open side here. Loka King Tongia inside to Laurie. Laurie's had a strong impact coming back into the game here. Third tackle now for the Dragons as Liddell will go back to Flanagan, who'll go left side, and they put an early grubber kick in, and Valentine Holmes, he scored. Valentine Holmes has scored. They've called it here. A great kick. Early kick from Kyle Flanagan turned Newcastle around, and Valentine Holmes looks like he's cleaning that ball up. He's saying it's a try. He thinks it's a try. As one of the most handsome men in rugby league has scored, Sam.
He's still sporting that Townsville tan, only pricking 6 months later, but good chase there from Val. He looks pretty happy.
Oh, I think he's dropped that.
Oh, he's a liar. Oh, but he's a friggin' liar. My goodness gracious me. Oh, boy. Well, look, time is going to beat the Newcastle Knights. I'm kind of dumbfounded. And Adam O'Brien, man,
I think he's in trouble, Sam. I think he's in trouble.
Dude, he is in the hottest of waters, deepest of hottest waters. But if you're Newcastle Knights, I think we had this conversation a couple of weeks ago. Sorry if we didn't, but if you're Newcastle Knights, do you cop the $2 million hit by sacking him now?
You have to.
Man, all right. Well, Kyle McCarthy has the hit up, and he's going to get up and play the ball. And Damien Cook, he's been pretty friggin' good tonight as Frizzell has a hit up to the left-hand side of the ruck, and he fights his way to the 40-metre line. 4 minutes to go, second tackle, and now it's with Gamble, right to Cogger, right to Sharp, right to Gagai. And look, Holmes hasn't been bad tonight, and Gagai throughout the second half is probably won the one-on-one battle here as Schiller at dummy half passes left infield for Cogger, who passes left for Croker. He dummies and goes. They're inside Dragons territory here. There's an offload here from Croker to Frizzell, and Frizzell got it off to Thompson to Dylan Lucas. They're about 30 metres away from the try line here on third tackle. Brayley runs to the right, finds Gamble on the pass, out the back to Cogger, right to Gagai, but this time Holmes is better to the contact. Gagai will play the ball on the 10-metre line. Schiller left infield here, and now it's with Gamble, Thompson, and Thompson, he wants the offload, but he's tackled 5 metres shy of the post. This is last tackle. Gamble on the last. He puts Sharp back under. Sharp passes back to Lucas. Lucas puts in the grubber kick, and it's ball Dragons. That's the summarisation of the night's night.
Yeah, and I mean that would have been a 6 again because the Dragons player played at the ball, but they just dropped it, picking the ball back up. So what do? Is Liddell's in here at dummy half now, and he goes to Tyrell Sloan, who's had a pretty quiet game from Tyrell Sloan standards. He'd be disappointed with himself dropping that ball over the line, but we'll probably tell Valentine Holmes to shut up when he tries to give him some criticism. as it's now given to Toby Couchman, who makes it up near the halfway line. Liddell goes for a scoot, and he picks up some meters. He gives the ball to Sloan, and Sloan gives the ball to Newcastle, and that just sums up this game in one play there, Sam.
Intercepted by Gamble. Bradley passes right to Hunt. Hunt possibly taken high there by Laurie, but no play on. Just looking at the draw there, they're taking on the Newcastle Knights. They're hosting the Manly Seagulls next week. Oh, man.
Bit of a grudge rivalry game on that one. Be interesting to see how many Travojeviches play in that game. If any of them play, you've probably just got to pick Manly.
100%. 100%. All right, then. So Gamble passes back to Sharp, and Sharp tries to split them up the middle, but couldn't. All righty. There's about 90 seconds remaining. Cogger puts up the kick. James Schiller and Kai Piss-Paul are chasing, and that's a good catch there from Lawson, man.
Nathan Lawson has been super impressive on debut. Now, I know that Newcastle haven't thrown much at him, which is probably more on the Knights, because if you've got a kid on debut, you need to be just bombing, attacking. But the Dragons have done very well to shield him out of this, and in return, he hasn't let anybody down here. So, yeah, that's a debut to remember for him. Probably not going to get his try, but a very, very good debut as Luciano Leilua is tackled, and Cogger accidentally knees his hair while he's on the ground. So Likey King Togia gets up over the halfway line, and we say it every set for the Dragons. They just get themselves out of the territory battle, and Gutherson's happy to kick that ball. There's 47, 46, 45 seconds left in the game, and that's game over. He gives a little fist bump to Kyle Flanagan. Flanagan laughs because he knows he's going to get picked next week.
So next week, we were talking about the Knights hosting Manly Seagulls. Next week, the Dragons have their third trip to Brisbane in the space of about 6 or 7 weeks. They are taking on the Dolphins at Suncorp Stadium. That game happening, I believe, on the Friday night football. So that's Friday night footy next week. Dolphins versus Dragons. That could be a pretty entertaining game.
That's a page turner, that one. I don't share your sentiments, Sam, but
oh dear.
Look, I was about to say I'll be available for the Thursday night game next week with you, Sam, but the Knights are playing it again, and I think I might ditch that. I might ditch you and stay home because the game's over.
Not before I ditch you. All right, so the Dragons, they have won 20 points to 6, tryless in that second half. Yeah, that was... look, I'm sorry to stick the boot in. We didn't play that game. They did. They all looked knackered out there. But that game lived up to the hype.
That game did live up to the hype.
Yes, it did.
Of being terrible.
Yes, it did. But it was not terrible hanging out with you tonight, Terry. It is always a freaking cack every time I hang out with you, mate. It was good stuff hanging out with you.
It was a lot of fun. We made the best of a bad situation that was dealt to us.
Oh, mate, they are the Newcastle Mullets, and maybe if they all get haircuts, maybe they'll start winning next week. So maybe they should all go to the barber. All right, then. So, look, that's it for us, guys. Thank you very much. We had upwards of about 80 people in here at one stage, so we really do appreciate the support. Please subscribe to Rugby League Outlaws and Wobble Enjoy Sports by following the link in the name of the title, and we'll see you guys in the next one. It may not be for Thursday night football, though, next week. I'll see you guys in the next one. See you guys.